This is episode 8 of Sports Talk with Chris. I'm your host, Chris Linney. Today, we are going to be talking about all things NHL draft once again, and I am going to be looking at the top 10 picks in this year's draft, and I will be grading them. Now, without further ado, let's get started. So, first overall pick, the New York Islanders selected Matthew Schaefer. I was absolutely right. I saw this coming from a mile away. I knew it was going to be Schaefer going first overall to the Islanders. Now, obviously, I love this pick. The Islanders have a really good defensive core, even though they are getting a little bit older, especially with Adam Pelech and Ryan Pulock, the two D pair just getting a little bit older. They also just re-signed Alex Romanov to an 8-year extension, which is really good. And Matthew Schaefer, obviously coming into the league this year, is going to be an awesome player for the Islanders on defense. And I am going to give this draft pick a grade of an A+. Obviously, it's the first overall pick, and it's a really good pick by the Islanders. I think Schaefer has a really good career ahead of him. Definitely a couple of Norris Trophy wins, and it is going to be so much fun to watch him play on Long Island. Now, the second overall pick, the San Jose Sharks selected Michael Misa. Now, we knew that it was going to be Schaefer and Misa going number 1 and number 2 in this year's draft. Misa is a perfect pick for San Jose's forward core, which is already just, it's going to be loaded in a few years. They just re-signed William Eklund to a 3-year extension. They also obviously have Macklin Celebrini and Will Smith on that young forward core. All these guys are under the age of 25. And you know what development does to players like that are just going to, that are already over 55 points in their careers, like William Eklund, 58 points last year. Macklin Celebrini, 25 goals and 63 points last season. He was unbelievable in his rookie year. And Will Smith as well, 47 points in his rookie year. Just absolutely incredible how the Sharks are developing that forward core. The defense is still obviously a problem. That's why they're still going to be bad this season. Michael Misa is definitely a step in the right direction for this forward core. The Sharks are in a great spot when it comes to forwards. And obviously, they just traded for a goalie to back up Yaroslav Askarov as well in Alex Nedeljkovic, which I think is actually a really solid trade by the Sharks. So yeah, Michael Misa, obviously, I'm going to give that a grade of an A+. I really do like that pick by San Jose. Michael Misa is going to be awesome. Great player to watch. He was unbelievable in juniors last year, and he's going to be even better at the NHL level next year. Now, with the third overall pick, the Chicago Blackhawks selected Anton Frondell, another pick that I saw coming from a mile away from Chicago. This is a great pick by the Blackhawks. I think they're pretty much set. In a couple of years, they're definitely going to be a playoff contender again, and they are going to be even more deadly with this core than I think they were with Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews back in the day. I think the Blackhawks have a solid team. They're still not going to make the playoffs. They don't have good goaltending or good D yet, but I think Frondell is definitely a good add for the offense. I thought Levshinov was a good add for the D last season, but he was hurt for a majority of the season last season. So, yeah, I think this is a great pick by Chicago. I'm going to give this a grade of an A. I really do like Frondell a lot. I think he's going to be a fantastic player at the NHL level. Now, with the fourth overall pick, the Utah Mammoth select Caleb Denoyer. I think this is a solid pick. Again, I got the top 4 in this draft correct with Schaefer, Misa, Frondell, and Denoyer. This is a really great pick by the Utah Mammoth. a team that I actually think is going to be really good this season, especially with some of the ads that they made today, signing Nate Schmidt, signing Brandon Tanev. They're just going to be such a fun team to watch within the next few years. They're definitely going to be a playoff contender as well. I am really excited for the future of the Utah Mammoth. They're just going to be a ton of fun to watch. I'm going to give this draft pick a grade of an A. He is fantastic to watch, especially on offense. I think this is a very solid pick. And with the 5th pick in the draft, this is where all the chaos ensues. This is where things start to get ugly. With the 5th pick in the draft, the Nashville Predators select Brady Martin, a guy that wasn't on my radar at all going into the draft. And for good reason, because he wasn't really touted very highly at the junior level. And not a lot of teams were really looking for a guy like Martin. And they were definitely I thought they were honestly going to go with James Higgins, but that didn't matter. James Higgins is coming up later. But I think Nashville is still stuck. I think they are still, especially in this little retool that they're doing, this is a team that's just not going to be anything special for a couple of years. And that is why I'm going to give this pick a grade of a C. I am not a huge fan of the Brady Martin pick. I think that this is definitely a reach for Nashville. Number 6 overall, the Flyers select Porter Martone. Now, I originally had Martone going 8th overall in this pick, getting picked by Seattle, but number 6, not a bad pick at all by the Flyers. They actually really did a good job at selecting a guy like Martone. And Martone was a guy that was really highly touted going into the draft this year. A lot of people thought he was going to go probably number 2 overall, but he ended up falling down to number 6 in the draft this year due to production issues, I believe. He produced at a pretty high level back in college and in the junior hockey league, wherever he played. But I just don't really see the hype around Martone. I think he's going to be a great player. Don't get me wrong. He's going to work really well with this Philly offense. But I honestly think that Philly should have gone along the lines of someone like Roger McQueen or Carter Bear or someone like that. But this is a really solid pick by the Flyers. And they also had another first-round pick, which they failed miserably with. We're not going to be talking about that because not a top 10 pick. But I think that Martone, he's got some upside to him. I think he's going to be a great player, obviously. And I also think that he is definitely a serviceable pick by the Flyers. So overall, I'm going to give this a grade of a B+. I like the pick. I actually low-key love the pick. But I don't think he is the guy that I would have gone with at 6. Now, the 7th overall pick in the draft, the Boston Bruins select James Higgins. This is the steal of this draft. I think James Higgins is going to be fantastic in the NHL. He is going to be awesome. He's going to be such a fun player to watch. And I think that he's going to add so much to this Bruins team, even though the Bruins probably not going to be that good this year. But at the beginning of the season, I was watching a video of James Higgins controlling the puck. I think he was with Boston College at the time. He was controlling the puck, and he had his head up the entire time. You can tell that he can read plays, and he is just unbelievable. I absolutely love that pick from Boston. It gets an A+ from me. This is the pick of the draft, I think. I think James Higgins is going to be fantastic. He was originally, at the beginning of the season, trending to be the number 1 overall pick, and he falls all the way down to number 7. That is crazy. I absolutely love this pick. I'm super ecstatic for Boston. I don't think the future's too bright for them necessarily, but I think that they got a pretty darn good player in James Higgins. Now, with the 8th overall pick, by the way, I originally had James Higgins going number 5 overall. And with the 8th overall pick, the Seattle Kraken select Jake O'Brien, which fell one pick above where I originally had him going. I originally had him going number 9 to the Sabres. I didn't even have Brady Martin in my top 10. So, yeah. But I originally had O'Brien going number 9 to the Buffalo Sabres, but he actually rose up to number 8. I think this is a decent pick from Seattle. I don't think they reached it all here. This is around where I expected O'Brien to go. I think he's going to be a really solid player at the NHL level. Don't really have too much to say about him. He's just your average prospect who is going to develop into a really good player at the pro level. So I'm going to give this an A- from Seattle. I think they did a really good job with this pick. And now the 9th overall pick. Oh, Buffalo. The Buffalo Sabres. The Sabres select Radim Murtika. Now, I do not like this pick at all. This, I think, is one of the worst picks of the draft for me because Murtika is supposed to be... I don't even know, man. I don't know what Buffalo was really thinking with this pick. I'm not a fan of it. And I think this set Buffalo back another couple of years. I didn't even have Murtika in my top 10, maybe not even in my top 20. This is an absolute reach. I don't know what Buffalo's thinking. Also, their front office is completely brain dead right now, trading J.J. Peterka to the Utah Mammoth, and they literally got a bag of pucks for him. But I think that this is a terrible pick from Buffalo. This gets a D. Honestly, this is close to an F for me. This is not a good pick at all. I remember watching them select the pick, and I was like, who the hell is this guy? What's he going to do at the pro level? I was just laughing. I don't know what happened with Buffalo here. I don't know what they were thinking. So yeah, awful pick. And then number 10 overall, the Anaheim Ducks select Roger McQueen. This is a really good pick from the Ducks. He fell all the way down to number 10. I originally overrated McQueen a little bit. I had him going at number 6. Roger McQueen's going to be solid. He's going to work well for this young Ducks team that is definitely on the rise. They actually had a pretty decent season last year, finishing with 80 points. They obviously missed the playoffs. I haven't been to the playoffs since 2018, but I think that they are going to get back to the playoffs sooner rather than later, maybe even this season. I think the Ducks they have potential to be really solid this year. I really do like this pick with Roger McQueen. And also, I thought it was very wholesome that they flew him out to Disneyland and he actually took a picture with the Lightning McQueen that they had at Disney's California Adventure. And as someone who had the Cars movies, obviously, as part of their childhood, this feels nostalgic for me. I absolutely love the first Cars movie. I don't really care for the sequels that much, but I love the first movie. But I just thought it was really cool that they actually had him fly out to Disneyland to take a picture with Lightning McQueen, and he's going to be wearing number 95 with the Ducks. I mean, come on! Who wouldn't want a player like that? That's awesome. So, yeah. Roger McQueen, really good pick for Anaheim. And that is going to do it for this episode of Sports Talk with Chris. Today we recap the draft, and in the next episode, don't know what we're going to be talking about. It's going to be definitely an episode that you guys are going to want to look forward to, and obviously subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, and keep watching and talking about sports.